Hello YouTube, I'd like to welcome you back to the Homestead, and what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about astronomy as it applies to the homesteading. For thousands of years, long before the advent of the calendars that most of us are familiar with hanging on our kitchen walls and on the walls of our shops, fathers took their sons outside at night and taught them the constellations, so that they could do what is called planting by the stars. This is not astrology. This is not divination. This is using the stars as a calendar, because the movement of the universe is a constant, and that from generation to generation, the stars would always be in the same place, the same time, every year. There may come a time in our future when we do not have access to calendars any longer. And if an SHTF situation runs a long enough time, we're going to lose perspective as far as what day it is and maybe even what month. We will always know the time of year. We will always be cognitive of the change in the seasons. But when is it safe to do our spring planting will become an issue. You put your seed in too early, and you could lose your entire crop to a late frost. But we can't always look at the calendar and say, okay, for our area the frost is now past. But if we follow the stars, we will know when it is now safe to plant. I would encourage you to use reference materials now and just spend a little time going out just after sunset and learning the constellations and where they are at. Because that's what happened in the old days. A farmer would go out, he would look to the east after sunset, and he would see what constellation is rising. Certain constellations, depending on where you live, will indicate it's a good time to start preparing the ground. And then when another constellation starts to rise, you will know that all danger of frost is past, and now it is safe to plant. Because planting on time is just as critical, because we have to have our harvest in before the first frost of the fall. So a couple things that could help you in this is, first off, you could go online, call up star charts and for free and print them off and start exploring the night sky. Another handy thing is the Old Farmer's Almanac. It has an entire astronomy section in there. It's very easy to understand. It is not written for the science student. It's written for the average person to understand. Also, it'll help you learn about where the planets are. The other thing is, you can get a planisphere. I do not have a planisphere to show you. I use what is called an astrolabe. But these are a lot more complex. But it's similar to a planisphere in that you could dial a planisphere as far as what month it is and what day it is and what time you want to go out. And it'll teach you what the stars are. In our home, astronomy has always been a fun thing. I've been interested in astronomy since I was a kid, but I also had an interest in Greek mythology. So when my children were younger, we would go out. I would not only just point out the constellations, but then I would tell them the stories from mythology. And so for us, it was a time when the stars came alive. It is a great time to spend with your family, but someday you may need to know where those constellations are so that you can safely plant and harvest. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please subscribe. And happy homesteading.